Should we start? No? Ladies first?
No, say it, because I think it sounds really nice with your accent.
What, Archwell Audio?
Yeah.
Archwell Audio.
I mean...
Really?
Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Today is December 2nd, 2025. It is 2:15 a.m. I spent about an hour to put this list together. I didn't really see anything new. I don't know. I just grabbed some tweets to share with you. Alright, so let's go on Twitter. I was looking more for things about Meghan, but I didn't see much except the Rangers. You know what? Let me go on IG and see what Meghan posted. Let's see. I should have done that before I started recording. Okay, did she post anything? Okay, so last I heard this was sold out. Is that a video? Okay, so there's a music. Thank you at Harper Bazaar and this extraordinary team for a special and unforgettable experience. Alright. I can't really show this properly. Alright. So let's see this one. This one I sort of shared already. Okay, Meghan, talk about a full circle moment and my old stomping ground of West Hollywood with a brand, family, and friend that have been part of my life for so long, and also a part of my love story with Harry since our very first date was at Soho House restaurant. So excited to introduce as ever official Soho House. She tagged them. Okay, if you find yourself in LA, come visit our as ever pop-up at Soho Home on Melrose Place at 8540 Melrose Avenue, West Hollywood, California. Okay, open to everyone, full collection available and yummy. Okay, she tagged, who's that? Can I see it? No. Just across the street. Sound like a good day to me. Look at this. She even tagged another company. Let me see. Who's that? Okay. Earth Cafe. Organic coffee and fine teas. Okay. So she even gave shout out to this company. Wow. She even gave shout out to another company that has nothing to do with her thing. How lovely. Okay. So let's go on Twitter. I just wanted to see if there is anything new from her that I could at least put, but there's none. Majority of the tweet that I saw on my timeline are from the Sussex squad or talking about the Left Behinders. Okay, they made up another brand new lie to attack Meghan, and it is so stupid that only the Royalists will accept it as fact. Okay, so let's listen. Oh my God, it's over 5 minutes.
The Daily Mail and the UK tabloids are constantly trying to rewrite history, and I'm not going to allow it to fucking happen. So this caught my eye, this article up here. While Meghan's first public engagement with the late Queen was carried out too early. It happened a month after her and Harry married. It makes no sense why it would be too early. Because what do you mean? This is a woman that has spoken at the UN, who has met presidents and prime ministers, who was doing charity before she married Harry, and was just as comfortable with the Queen because she'd already met several very, very important people before her.
So why didn't they tell the Queen that? Huh? Maybe at that time, the Queen's secretary was the one who was looking out for the institution. The one before they replace him with, what's the other guy? Edward. Just look at the screen to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, because Charles and Andrew had replaced the Queen's secretary to Edward Young. So the one that was there must have felt like this was a good thing for the monarchy. Okay, because that was his job. He literally was looking out for the institution. Many people may not like it, let's say the Commonwealth, whatever, to preserve the institution, but that was his job, to make the institution look good. So he probably felt that was a good thing. No, but because I have seen in that image, Edward Young, there's pictures of Edward Young behind the Queen. So they had already replaced that secretary that I'm talking about. I have a picture in that particular event where Edward Young, the one that Charles and Andrew put their heads together to replace, was already replaced. So how come they didn't tell the Queen that, if that was too fast? It's too late now. There's one tweet that I respond. It's probably somewhere on the list. I was like, the UK have a habit of making the dead talk a lot. But anyway, let's continue.
So I want to show you a video of the day in particular, just a snippet of a few things of how comfortable she was that day with this woman, and why the screenshot of a video is, you know, they're clearly trying to rewrite the story that we've all seen and trying to create new lies, because there are several brand new lies that are just unfathomable that people actually listen to.
This is another reason why the bully allegation, whatever investigation they did and the finding, should be made public. Because these people always revisiting events and rewriting history. All right, so they need to put the bullying allegation out, made it public so people know the truth. While Harry and Meghan are alive, they could correct whatever that was said in the allegation and the finding.
And I can't wait to tell you them because it's so fucking stupid. But anyways, let's watch just how it was just too early and Meghan did all the wrong things that day, shall we? I really hope that there's actual sound to this, because if there's not, these people were screaming bloody murder. And this is not the usual sort of like crowd that the Queen got. Like, yeah, the kids there, obviously, they're going to get them. But like, there was not, I mean, look how comfortable they are with each other. Smiling, laughing, talking to each other, having a really decent time.
I think it was in that event in my intro where this guy literally gave the Queen a flower to give to Meghan. I think it was in that event. Let's continue. I have it on my intro.
See it? Did you see anything that would lead you to believe that Meghan doing this, walking around, being introduced to people, smiling and waving, was too early?
See, this is the thing. We know the Queen is racist, okay? I have videos of the Queen joking about a black person, okay?
Extremely difficult sometimes to keep a straight face. When the Home Secretary said to me, there's a gorilla coming in. So I said, you know, what an extraordinary remark to make, very unkind about anybody. And so, you know, I stood in the middle of the room and pressed the bell and the doors opened, and there was a gorilla. And I had the most terrible trouble in keeping, you know, he had short body, long arms. And I had the most appalling trouble.
When Charles was much younger. This is the thing William cannot do, okay? I don't know the Queen deep personal feeling for Meghan. However, for the crown, whether she was genuine with Meghan or just performing for the crown. This is the thing William cannot get. But at the same time, we have to thank William, okay? Because he can't differentiate, when he's in public and when he's in private. So he get to show everybody who he truly is. So the queen, this is the thing, the queen act, okay, pretend to be this loving, caring grandmother, but behind the scene, she's a different person. For instance, I remember I have that video where she's walking like a freaking boss, talking to Kate. She told Kate to sort of shut up or something. She didn't say it like that, but here's the video.
I'm in on this. I don't approve of this. It's really fun with the purple there as well.
Okay, so this is the thing here. William will be the end of the monarchy because he cannot differentiate. You see how the queen is performing, laughing with Meghan, because I think she was listening to Harry, because Harry told them to take advantage of Meghan. That will help the Commonwealth, which will benefit the crown. They didn't listen to him. So that's that. Let's continue.
I just checked, and for some reason there's no sound. I don't know why I recorded it with sound. It was from the royal family's video that they had uploaded that day, and not the Daily Mail's, because the Daily Mail's has like these descriptions of all the, trying to twist things like we can't see with our own eyeballs. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, to appease the royalists who live in another sphere of reality, like the MAGAs. But anyways, let's get back to this article.
Pretty much, yeah, like the MAGAs. Pretty much, they are the same. I agree with her, even though she said very vaguely, but yeah.
So I want to give you one of the best lies they've come up with, because it's just so far-reaching, and they're so used to lying that they were like, hang on, that doesn't really make any sense. But it doesn't have to, because it's Meghan. So you've seen how the Queen and Meghan were talking to each other, looking at each other as they spoke to one another, that they were laughing, that Meghan had put her hand up over her mouth at one point to kind of whisper something to the Queen, and the Queen laughed. So they must have shared a joke or something. Well, according to our favorite pseudoscience body language expert, which is not real, Judy James, the absolute royalist that she is, said that the engagement might have been a tad premature, because, when the royals are together in public and they don't even acknowledge each other, let alone speak or talk, because that would be too personal, right? No, that's not how that works, because that makes no fucking sense. Well, Judy James highlighted an action that Meghan was seen talking to the queen, who looked away and rubbed her eye, and she couldn't have possibly had like something in it, or just needed to wipe her eye, because no one does that unless they're signaling to people, according to this body language expert. And according to James, Meghan may have breached protocol that mandates, so this is mandatory, all royals do this. Royals must avoid any personal-looking communication during public events. Are you fucking kidding me? The lies they will create to try and make Meghan look bad. Meghan was personable. That's not good for some reason. The Queen responded and smiled and laughed at her. We'll ignore that the Queen was doing it and just pretend Meghan was doing it. And that the avoid any personal looking communication is something that's been done for centuries, even though it's a brand new made up fucking lie to attack Meghan for being charismatic. How dare she? The Daily Mail and the UK tabloids are constantly trying to rewrite history, and I'm not going to allow it to fucking happen. So this caught my eye, this article up here, while Meghan's first...
Okay, so I just let it play. Yeah, let's see some of the comments. Okay, only one. This sound like British press. They are determined to destroy Queen Elizabeth II's legacy. Let them destroy each other. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And this has to do with the Queen, the next tweet. And I don't know, Charles is not saying anything. And they started it literally on the week that she died. Because when she died, they didn't even, if there was, okay, I'm not from the UK, never step in the UK. I live in the US. What I was seeing, I don't know if they did other things, with the exception of one video who was somewhat talking positively about the Queen and made a comparison with Meghan.
Yeah, I think there's another factor here too, that Meghan is a very professional woman, and she's very American in that way. And the male-dominated culture, the royal household, doesn't like the kind of terms that they would use there, pushy and pushy American. They don't like pushy Americans, meaning that they don't like professional people who work hard. And a lot of the Debbie kind of girls who get to work inside the palace work from about 9 to 12 and then take the rest of the day off. And Meghan was very impatient with that. She wanted to see a new work ethic, maybe a work ethic as strong as the Queen's herself.
But the majority of news or things that was coming out of the UK was negative. They were focusing about Meghan only. They neglected the Queen. So I don't know. Maybe they're trying to end it. And where is Charles? Did Charles say anything about the paper for writing negative things about his mother? So they must have something on him for him to shut his mouth. And you have William coming out, that was a while back, a couple years ago, talking negative about his mother. So, yeah, I'm struggling to understand. According to the British media, Queen Elizabeth didn't like Meghan and even despise her. So why are they crying about Meghan disrespecting the Queen? Isn't it legitimate? Okay, there's me here. Oh, so this is why I responded. In the UK, the dead speaks a lot. The dead actually speaks more dead than they were alive. No complain, no explain. So yeah, more to hear from Prince Philip's Queen Elizabeth. Surprised we didn't hear from Thomas Kingston recently, just saying. Alright, what they're saying is that the late Queen, who they claim to respect so much, was two-faced, backstabbing witch. Meghan said that Queen Elizabeth II was very kind and friendly to her, but the media says she was telling people how much she despised Meghan. So why did she agree to the marriage? Okay, I don't give a F about a woman who uphold white supremacy, misogyny, and PDF lazy was never superior than Meghan or our Queen Doria. Okay, man, whatever's on the screen. It hardly needs saying that she will find you personally absolutely detestable. Marina Hyde said, quote, "We're a country where the guys leading the media charge against Meghan are so emotionally wrapped that the only way they can begin to release their feelings of social, racial, and sexual resentment is by using a 94-year-old woman's feeling as a proxy." Maria had, quote, "It's the Queen I feel sorry for. Why? She's not your grandmother. You don't know her socially. It doesn't count that you've been to her bands and covertly taking pictures of her breakfast table or whatever." Alright, let's leave that alone. Next tweet. Alright, Sussex squad on Queen Elizabeth II. Next tweet. Okay. 70 years as a, let's pause that. 70 years as a reigning monarch, lived through some of the most life-changing events of the past century, and the best they can do is define her legacy is that of an angry, bitter, passive-aggressive, two-faced B, that's the B word, as someone who was never a fan of hers. I can't say I mind. Okay, let me guess. They're digging Lizzie up again to bash Harry and Meghan. So that's me here responding, laughing my ass off. My response to a tweet making reference to the dead, I thought I pasted here. That's the same tweet of mine that I read a few minutes ago. I posted it about the dead speaking a lot. Honestly, I blame her children for allowing this to happen. Yeah, where is Charles? He should say to the media to stop talking about his mother like that. Our children are our legacy in a sense, but they are who they are. All right, you could see the comparison between William and Harry. All right, William went on national television to continue the narrative of the monarchy, the institution, about his mom. Harry, on the other hand, went to court to make sure the tabloid apologized to his mother for what they did to her. Next tweet. King Charles closes the door on Prince Harry's reunion. Quote, there will be no detour. Hello. Okay, so that's from Hello Magazine. So what does that mean? So there's no reunion? Okay. I'd rather him be frank with Harry. And I'm glad he did. There won't be no reunion, if it's true. Palace source.
Much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often leaking these stories to the press.
Usually when this comes out in the press, what the voter says is usually the other way around. Harry visits Charles' side leaked, which shows they can be trusted yet again. And William and Kate can't abide being overshadowed. Not that it's not easy to do. Why would any multimillionaire dying king reject any opportunity to see his grandchildren or adjust scheduling so that he could? Or William and Kate blackmailing him that they refuse to work publicly, do Christmas with him if he sees Harry and Meghan? Charles' legacy will always be as a vain, weak coward. Kate detour, more like misdirection. Nobody asked, so what are they answering? So all just more speculation as usual. And you sell magazine with this. How about just one publication doing nothing, saying nothing until there is something to say? That is true. Another waste of print by King Charles' mouthpiece, Fatty Jobson. He talks fresh air, has no idea what the king will do, and I imagine that Harry and his father may be in contact via internet and phone. We will never know. The only advice, if this is true, okay, because this is opinion that I keep on reading here. If this is true, if this is what's happening behind the scene, Harry should not think his father is the same as the queen. Okay, where I remembered at one point the squad was saying the queen has a burner phone to talk to Harry, you know, just making joke because it seems like Harry was in constant connection with his grandmother. So for Harry to not think his father is the same as his grandma, because in my humble opinion, Charles is sold out to the highest bidder. I think, in my humble opinion, he owed the papers some stuff. How dare his son call them to court? All right? He got the older brother to be just like him, but he could never get Harry to be just like him. All right, next tweet. What I mean by that is that, you know, William settled out of court with the papers and didn't say anything, but Harry felt like there was something wrong and he's taking them to court. He won 2, okay? Both of them, I think, is by settling, and there's one more that's coming next year. And one of those, he made them apologize to his mother. So, yeah, they're probably upset with Charles. So Harry better be very careful with his family. Not just Charles, all of them. You can't give them trust or let them know when you're coming to the UK or something like that, because they don't have Harry's best interest. Okay, next tweet. Let's not forget that Sophiesta hates that Meghan outranks her and conspired with the men in grey to introduce the working royal nomenclature so she won't have to stand behind Meghan royal protocol demands. They made up new protocols when Meghan joined the royal family. There's the slap in the face, there's that. They're walking side by side here, probably reluctantly by both women, and it's at the Queen's funeral. Yeah, there's other pictures. You could see the disdain. Okay, maybe this is not the best picture she should have shown. Let me go look for a picture that she should have shown. Okay, this is the image she should have used. That one. There's Sophie looking very disdain at Meghan. All right, there's a lot of images. All right, they have to perform for the public. Like this one, they were in the same car. All right, but you can't really tell how people feel inside, but this image literally shows you the disdain of her toward Meghan. So let me put that. This should have been the picture. So there's that. You see the look. Let's go to the next tweet. That's why the angle of this picture will not tell you much, but this one tells you much more based on her caption. So this is a video. There's no response. She closed her comment. Yes, Meghan changed them, upgraded their whole dusty system, and instead of admitting it, they hated her for it. They were so threatened by basic human decency. Harry and Meghan taking that all-out option was such a golden move. William chooses that for them. Okay? Harry and Meghan wanted to stay. I can't respond to that. She blocked it. Okay? William chose that for them. Alright, so let's go into that. The future spare has option. Let's go into that. It's 3 minutes.
Down, shaking hands. Look at the royal family. Now they're...
It's very loud. I have to lower it when I'm editing.
Look at the royal family. Now they're being much more open. Look at the royal family hugging, kneeling down, shaking hands rather than curtsying.
The effect is the opportunity.
That was Meghan. Meghan did not want people to be curtsy to them. To her. Meghan did not want people to be curtsying to her. She rather the hug and shake hand, whatnot, but the curtsy, she didn't want that.
To say we've been changed by Meghan.
Historically, the monarchy had not promoted peoples of colour into important positions within the household. And Meghan and Harry's discussion with Oprah Winfrey has shone a light on those sort of implicit biases.
Meghan even won the support of more than 70 women members of Parliament, who wrote an open letter sympathising with her feelings of intimidation.
We thought that the way that our tabloid press treats her is kind of almost neo-colonial, that she should be someone who should get back in her box, not have opinions.
This has really shown how the royal family needs to modernise, and if it doesn't, then it's going to face collapse.
By September 2019, Meghan Markle had been the Duchess of Sussex for just under 17 months. She and Harry made another overseas tour, this time to Southern Africa. Once again, Meghan connected with Commonwealth citizens in ways that other royals could not.
I am here with you as a mother, as a wife, as a woman of color, and as your sister.
Prince Harry wanted to discuss 5 different options for his future life as a working royal. One of them was living in a Commonwealth country, working on their own business plans and their philanthropy, and still serving the crown, and that's probably the one that they wanted to do the most. But Prince Charles and Queen Elizabeth II said, no, this is not an option. You're either all in or you're all out. And they chose all out.
That's not true. Harry did not choose that. Remember in his book Spare? Well, when this was done, I don't think Spare was written, but Harry said, okay, when he went to the Sandringham Summit, okay, you know what? Instead of me explaining, here's the part in his audiobook Spare regarding the Sandringham Summit.
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between. A compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1. Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the bee got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
Okay, so let's continue.
You can just exit, and set up your own life wherever you want to set it up, but you will not be a senior member of the royal family. And they took a big risk and said, fine, we're out of here.
I remember at the time thinking, this is such a seismic blow for the royal family, because Meghan and Harry are so successful and so cool and have so much to offer. What is so rotten within the royal family that it's so bad for these superstars to walk away?
Even so, some commentators now see Meghan's departure as a missed opportunity. The royals had locked...
Same way as Princess Diana. I have several videos where my thumbnail says missed opportunity. Okay, they screwed up and things like that. And yeah, there was something I was thinking and I forgot. I should have stopped the video when I was thinking about it. But let's continue.
Lost their biracial Duchess, one of the few family members other than Queen Elizabeth to inspire global interest.
They could have really been instrumental in cementing relations within the Commonwealth, making...
Okay, now I remember. Okay, what happened, the fallout with Meghan, is that the royal family, men in grey suit, politically, globally, there was a plan, okay? And the plan is carrying out right now in the US, okay? Their thing was white supremacy, okay? So their plan, Meghan come in, you would have thought that, you know, there would be people of decency in the UK who would have helped support Harry and things like that, but majority of people shut them out. But what happened is that they didn't expect Harry to marry a biracial or anybody other than whatever, how do they call them? The Rose, English Rose. So Meghan being in the royal family sort of disrupt their plan. Okay, I've said it in so many other videos where politically and what was going on with Harry and Meghan, I just saw almost the parallel of it. Okay, as things going around the world and the US and the UK politically, and I'm seeing Harry and Meghan's situation, it was almost the same. It's just that they didn't expect Harry to be with a black woman. They have a huge plan in the making. So Meghan being in the royal family was a big no-no. It didn't fit into their plan. So they had to do whatever they can to get her out. When they realized all the headlines and things that they were trying to do to get into her, for her to leave, didn't work. And then eventually they pretty much told him, Harry, straight up, no 50-50, you just gotta go.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
All right, so it's almost done. Let me move it back slightly.
Family members other than Queen Elizabeth to inspire global interest.
They could have really been instrumental in cementing relations within the Commonwealth, making the royal family still seem relevant.
A different different solution at Sandringham could have helped the royals to modernise and benefit future generations of the royal family who are not in the direct line of succession.
William and Kate's children, there could have been a blueprint there for how they might live their lives, partly as representatives of the monarchy, but also doing their own thing beyond its reaches as well.
I don't know, there's a kind of greed that's going on with the royal family. They probably plan on taking everything, you know, for themselves. Like this video was saying, that could have been a perfect example for the spares of William's children could learn from, but they're making Harry's life miserable. God is good. Who knows if William's spares gonna have the same kind of support like Harry does because of Meghan fans. All right, let's go to the next tweet. I just switched some stuff over. It says Harry and Meghan video, so let's see here. I might continue recording and then make it to another video for Happy Team Sussex. All right, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace. We already knew that Egg and Bone were insanely jealous of Harry and Meghan's star power. That's really what all this stems from, and it's quite sad. All right, so let's listen.
My family have been briefing the press solidly for well over a decade.
So I could say what I want about Harry and Meghan, but I had to lay off William and Kate. That was the instruction from the editor.
They say so many books and shows and stories have been written about us. We wanted to have our own say. And remember, the purpose of the PR office at the royal family is to keep the royals in the press all the time. So you have to remember, when I work in newsrooms, it's a fact that every anti-Harry and Meghan story comes from Kensington Palace.
But why
and if it comes from Kensington Palace, why are they briefing against their own grandson?
Well, okay, that's a very... The idea...
Why are there never any
I think that's fascinating.
About Prince William?
Well, William and Kate involved in briefing against them originally, I don't know. That's a good point.
All right, so I sort of switched things around. That video I just shared here, it was further down. I think I should have left it, but let's go to the next tweet. Okay, so there's that. Royal source, the Sussexes are quite desperate to include their kids in charity work. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, royal source, aren't they in California? What's that got to do with the royals? Alright, Kate Middleton always pays for the clothes. LOL, do they all have collective amnesia? You could pause and read these. We already know these are lies. Pause and read. Pause and read. Okay. The so-called ignorant royal source clearly do not understand that volunteering is a natural part of American youth culture, which Meghan is passionate about on her children, something the benefits scrounging Wells family will learn from. What is it? I was trying to get my kids to volunteer at a soup kitchen near my house, and it seems like they booked. I think there are some schools who sign up with the soup kitchen for the students to go and volunteer. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's very sad that whatever school that my kids are, like, majority of people are doing it just to do checkbox when they file for their whatever college application, to say they volunteer here, they did this, they did that, but they're not really doing it genuinely because they want to do it. They're doing it for the application when they're filling out college application. That's what I get from it. Next tweet. Why is Hugo getting mad about a quote from an unnamed source rather than reacting to what was actually said by Meghan's Sparks, which then mentioned the royal family? These reporters commissioned fake sources, then falsely called them Sussex sources, then get mad about what their fake source said. Okay, so that's from that. I thought that was a different tweet. No? Okay. Indeed, Vickers will be put out to pasture. The royal family owns website makes it clear that Harry and Meghan are family members. Okay, that's the facade. And if writing a nasty book and doing controversial interviews means you're cast out, somehow Charles won't be king. Cognitive decline, maybe. I don't know. These people are something. Who pause and read this? Let me go to the next one. Facts about Meghan. Okay, fun fact. Quote. Did you know Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, had more followers than the entire royal household combined before she joined that family? Fun fact. Did you know Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, had more followers than the entire royal household combined before she joined the family? If you didn't know, now you know. I've always said that. And I call it on her IG, that was her armies. Okay? That's the same screenshot that I have. That squatty who took that screenshot is beautiful, because I wasn't following Meghan before. So she took that screenshot, and I think this is the same screenshot everybody have been using since Meghan had closed that particular IG account. But the thing is that those 3 million followers, that was Meghan's army that the royal family did not know. But I've spoken about this a lot recently, about how Trump is using influencers who have millions of followers. Okay, those followers thing kind of worked. It worked. Okay, these MAGAs who have negative things they want to do, they use people who have millions of followers. It's like you already build their followers up, and then they probably pay you a couple bucks, a couple bucks to for them to appear on your particular platform to spew their negativity and then to influence all those millions of followers. Okay? So that was Meghan's army that she took to the royal family. Even though I don't know, Meghan said she closed it, but I truly believe the royal family made her close it. That's what I think. And they thought maybe by closing it, that would be it. But they didn't know many of these followers will be following her on other platforms, on different things. And then when they realized the negativity that they were saying about her, this is what formed the Sussex Squad. There were people who were at it way before me. You know, I was in my la-la land doing different things, but I've said that so many times. When I see a couple headlines, I was one of those who were clicking on them, because I didn't think these people were like that. But the negativity about her were too consistent for me to believe it. That's when I started questioning. I was like, there is absolutely no way African American would be what that headline says. Okay, I've been living in the US for a very long time. For me to know African American are not like that, especially for an African American to be at this level, there is absolutely no way. And I didn't even know much about Meghan, with the exception she was an actress. That was it. I didn't know she was doing UN thing. I didn't know she was volunteering. She was doing all sort of nice stuff outside of the platform or her being an actress. I didn't know anything about her besides being an actress. That was it. And I was like, there's absolutely no way what the headlines, the tabloid are saying is true. Okay? And then I went on a quest. I was like, nah, I need to figure this out. And I went on Twitter. And I had my Twitter account since this one, PYTE, I have it, I think, since 2019. But my main one, okay, I had it since 2009. Never go on it. And I didn't even find my, my password to get, and it took me a while. So this is a bit more recent. They probably caught these after Meghan. Were they there? No, Meghan was not there. Okay. All right. Once Meghan, I have another one. This one probably was, whoever took that screenshot must have been a bit more recent, because the one that I have that was around the same time when we were looking at it, it was in 2000s. Okay. Thousands of followers. So this must have been, the followers must have added after Meghan came into the royal family. But the image that you're seeing here, Meghan and Harry were not. Were they? Let me ask Google. When Obama visited the royal family, William and Kate, when Harry and Meghan married, I forgot what year was this. Let me ask Google. Let me pause and ask. So they were not married. No, this is what I asked Google. When the Obamas visited Kate and William, did Harry and Meghan were married? The answer is no. Alright, so that's probably when Harry and Meghan just met, 2016. So it was a no. I got a little bit confused when I was looking at these images. But anyway, so that's that. I'll show you the screenshot of the followers of Kensington Palace. Lovely photo, never seen before. King Charles III is the head of state for approximately 150 million people across 15 independent countries and the Commonwealth realms. He is also the symbolic head of Commonwealth, an association of 56 countries with a combined population of around 2.7 billion people. Okay, so why is he not doing anything positive about it? Okay, yes, he could have all of that, but are these people truly for him? Okay, I know the photo isn't real, but it's stunning. What for? Oh, that one. Okay, so let's go to the next tweet. Alright, from this point on, okay, let me add this one. Okay, let me shift some stuff around. And then the other one will be for another video for RP Team Sussex. Next tweet. That should have been an RP Team Sussex too, but I want to put something on PYTE. The British press and the royals with their trolls don't hate Meghan. They hate that she is a mirror of what they wish for. Meghan is intelligent, hardworking, loving, and caring, and know exactly what she wants. Okay, 1 minute and 29 seconds.
Why does everybody love to hate Meghan Markle? I have a theory on this, and that is that Meghan is a strong, independent, and outspoken woman who literally has created a life that suits her. She's gone after what she wants in life, she does what she wants, and invariably, she gets what she wants. Now, let's contrast Meghan, Kate Middleton, who I think is delightful, but everybody loves Kate Middleton, and I'll tell you why. Kate Middleton doesn't open her mouth. She doesn't have an opinion. She doesn't buck the system. She doesn't do or say anything of any controversy or anything that would imply that she is anything other than a very compliant and dutiful wife.
One of the reasons Catherine is so popular amongst certain demographics, and I'm going to say older people and men, is because she says absolutely nothing. She's a good little girl who keeps quiet and doesn't complain, doesn't do anything, doesn't rock the boat, and is a very traditional, old-fashioned, mute woman.
Take note, Nicola. There it is.
I'll let you do the comparison there. This is the witch wound playing out in 2025 with women who are outspoken and who make their own way and blaze their own trails being torn down, and women who comply and just basically shut the fuck up. They're all good. I invite you, if this resonates, to go and listen to this week's episode of the podcast where I share the witch wound and how the collective trauma of the witch wound, even though it's over 400 years old, is still playing out for us women in 2025, and what you can do to change things.
Okay, as I was listening to her, I was like, let me just keep my mouth shut, let me not interrupt it, let it play completely. Here's the video that pretty much says exactly what she says, but in a different way. Here it is. Okay, let's see here. Exactly. Mamblina, okay. Mamblina is a doormat. She has no financial autonomy and no voice. Bland, dull, jealous, inadequate, and mediocre with no substance. Especially white women hate her. Okay, here's for the comments. No surprise the derangers are losing their effing minds over this, attempting to clap back with their fan fiction lies on Meghan Sussex. Love it. And the other thing as well, Meghan is minding her own business since the Oprah interview. Okay? I always feel like the Oprah interview was an answer to all of the negative headlines about her because the institution did not let her defend herself. They made her shut her mouth. So the Oprah interview was to clear all those headlines. And then you got the Netflix docuseries, which explained both Harry and Meghan's situation since they got married and what happened to them. Okay? Since then, did we hear anything from Meghan? Absolutely nothing. They even asked her at one point, what did she miss about the UK? The only thing that she said was I think it was a radio station. She never mentioned the Left Behinders. Okay, she didn't even mention them by name. The only that was from the Netflix docuseries about the other brother. Okay, and then the Rangers consistently talking about her. Here for the comments, no surprise the Rangers are losing their effing minds over this attempting to clap back with their fan fiction lies on Meghan Sussex. Love it. Alright, after these two, that's it. The hit Alabaster, wet dogs hollering, and the comments as usual, jealous, hateful, and miserable because Duchess Meghan has the life they thought they were entitled to. The royal family has copied every effing thing Meghan does, from her fashion to her engagement. The Sussexes rule. Okay, on point, bullseye. I love to see strong women stand up for themselves. Okay, next tweet. Now this is a picture. This will be the last tweet for this video, but I'm gonna continue recording for Team Sussex. Okay, tell me that doesn't look like the facts. HRH Prince Harry. Yeah, look at him. Well, that's another image. It looks really good. Marathon man. Okay, it does. Oh my, wow, yes. I suggest you get your eye tested. She wishes he looks like this. Oh, please. Harry looks good. I know this is not Harry, okay? I know this is not Harry, but Harry does look good. But in comparison to the other one, okay, he does. I thought it was him. Lord, a thirst trap. Yes, it doesn't look remotely like the facts. Okay. Oh yes, he definitely favored a young Captain Henry Wells. I actually thought it was some AI image of Harry. Okay, could be his brother, to be honest. Okay, so that's it for this video. I'm gonna continue for Team Sussex. The next tweet will be this. Alright, so please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. So that will be for PYTE.